Well, Democratic strategists admit that the party brand is, quote, in the toilet. That came out in a New York Times written online conversation yesterday. Communications strategist Liz Smith said many of the Democrats who succeeded this cycle ran against the Democratic Party brand. Former Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio with this: the Dems got pinned as the status quo party. They failed to redefine themselves on the culture issues. Here's what the former Democratic leader of the California State Senate has to say about it.
I believe that in history, we are seeing a major inflection point, the complete collapsing of the Democratic Party. This party refuses to recognize that it has lost its way. It's a chapter. It's, gone with the wind. And basically, we are seeing the end of this. Whether a new party emerges, that will wait to be seen.
Well, that's not good. Politico with this headline: new research shows the massive hole that the Dems are in. Even voters who previously backed Democrats cast the party as weak and overly focused on diversity and elites. Our power panel now: Gabriela Berrospi, Latino Wall Street founder and CEO, and Doug Schoen, former Clinton advisor. We're happy to hear that the former president is feeling better and is going home. But the party still seems to be ailing. Is this just a temporary setback, Doug, or is something really rotten in Denmark?
Well, I think, first of all, we're all happy that President Clinton, who I worked for, as you said, John, is going home. But this is a systemic problem, as the interviews you reported suggest. And it's greater than just woke or DEI. It goes to the economy, the cost of living, inflation, the budget. When Bill Clinton was president and I was working for him, we cut spending, we balanced the budget, we ran a surplus. Now the Democrats have created the greatest deficit in history, and it's ultimately what cost Kamala Harris and the Democrats control of the White House and the Congress. We need a fiscally prudent Democratic Party that focuses on people's economic concerns, does a bipartisan deal on the border and immigration, gets tough on crime, and makes it clear that we stand for traditional cultural values. Unless we do that, the party's history is limited.
I remember the end of the Clinton administration when the big discussion is we're going to pay off the debt. We have a plan to pay off the debt, but what are we going to do when we stop issuing T-bills? They don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, we don't.
We got lots of T-bills out there. Gabrielle, yes, I want to talk to you about this. This is another excerpt from that Politico piece. When asked to compare the Democratic Party to an animal, one participant compared the party to an ostrich because, quote, they've got their heads in the sand and are absolutely committed to their own ideas, even when they're failing. Another likened them to koalas, who are complacent and lazy about getting policy wins that we really need. So if they were an animal, what animal would they be, Gabrielle?
Wow, that's a really good question. I'll tell you this. The Democrat Party, I cannot recognize it. I'm a former Democrat. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I was all about women empowerment and what she stood for. And all of a sudden, I cannot recognize what this party has become. Latinos voted in this election with their wallets. We didn't vote for pronouns. We voted for our paychecks. We voted for safety. We voted with our Catholic values. And the Democrat Party does not represent that. So it's become something we don't recognize, we don't identify with, and they've really lost us. Like Kennedy says, the party left us.
Yeah. Well, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee Chairwoman Representative Susan DelBene laid out where she thinks Democrats need to focus looking ahead to 2026. Listen to what she said.
I think there are a lot of things we did right that we're going to continue to build on. If Republicans aren't willing to focus on the needs of communities, that they aren't working to move policies forward that will help our communities and our country, our candidates are going to speak out and hold them accountable for that. And so that gives us opportunities across the country. We want to reach voters where they are, make sure they're getting accurate information about where our candidates stand.
So she believes that there's lots of opportunities for the Democratic Party in 2026. And let's preface this by saying never underestimate the party in power's ability to screw up. And then, of course, there's the idea of midterm election losses in a presidency. But unless they rebuild from the top on down, do Democrats really have any hope of winning things back?
Well, with what the head of the DCCC said, No, they don't. The Republicans and Trump, like it or not, are focusing on people's concerns about issues like crime, the border, deportations. And to just say we're going to listen to people, well, that's not enough. Look, John, you made it very clear. The Democrats' best asset is Trump and the Republicans overreaching or getting into an intramural squabble. Based on the budget and continuing resolution last week, that's certainly possible. But basically, my party needs a new agenda, as I was saying, and we need people to not leave the party, particularly Latinos and African Americans, because we need an agenda that speaks to their real needs, not generic concerns. And I hope my party remembers Bill Clinton and remembers what needs to get done.
All right, so in terms of what voters are looking for, Fox also asked some Americans in New York City, Houston, Michigan, Oregon, and Tennessee what is on their Christmas wish list for the country. Here's some of what they said.
What is on your Christmas wish list for America?
For America? Peace.
Get the economy going, get rid of the crime, and stop the open borders.
Hopefully the cost of groceries will come down.
To be able to walk out like how we're doing now and not have to worry about anything happening to us.
It would be nice to quit being so divided.
Affordable rent.
I want us to be healthy again.
Donald Trump to have a successful presidency, to make America great again.
All right, Gabriela, that's a big to-do list for the incoming president, but he is calibrated in that direction.
So, look, we need to fix the Democrat cities are quite the nightmare. Women was just burned alive in New York City. I lived in New York City most of my life. I cannot believe what's happening right now and what it has become. So we need a transformation. We need safety. One of the reasons why we move here is for safety, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can get it.
It's quite the irony what has happened in the country.
We got to jump. We're out of time. Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.